What is up, everybody? Purple and Gold podcast for Thursday, March 19th, LSU and Oklahoma. Tonight, game one of a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series at Alex Box Stadium. Want to talk about the pitching matchups, want to talk about Cam Johnson from Oklahoma, and give you a preview of the Sooners on offense as well. Oklahoma comes into the game number 8 in the country. They beat Texas A&M 2 out of 3 at home last weekend. And Oklahoma's offense is predicated on speed and stolen bases and putting pressure on the defense, which is going to be a real problem for LSU's catchers and LSU's defense as a whole. Oklahoma is 65 of 70 on the year stealing bases. They have a tremendous leadoff man in Trey Gamble. It would really be a big piece of LSU's strategy against him to just not let him get on base. It'll be very imperative for LSU to throw strikes in this game and in this series and not give out the same free passes they gave out against Vanderbilt. This Oklahoma offense is really good. They can put a lot of pressure on you on the base paths. They've got multiple guys with 10 plus steals. They've got multiple speed burners. Brandon Johnson is a very fast base runner. They've got a catcher with the last name Brock, who's 10 of 11 on stolen bases. They can hit some homers throughout their lineup. Their leading home run hitter, I believe, only has 6 homers, though. So they don't have maybe that one Jake Brown type that you have to worry about. But I think 1 through 9, you have to be very concerned about their offense, and you have to be very concerned about the pressure that they can put on you. They are batting 300, 304 for the year, 333 in SEC games only after last weekend's series against Texas A&M. So for the pitching matchup tonight, it is, of course, Case and Evans going for LSU, and I believe this is the most important start of Case and Evans' career. Technically, his outing against UCLA in the resume game in Omaha last year is a bullpen appearance. Prior to now, his most important start would have been the rubber game against Tennessee at home last year, where he was very good, and LSU wind up winning that game. Why do I think it's his most important start? Well, he's coming off just a terrible, terrible outing against Vanderbilt. You know, we know the problem was control. We know the problem all year has been walks. His batting average against is only 216. The problem is he's just walked and hit entirely too many people. He's caused way too much traffic on the base paths, and he just hasn't gone deep into games. And outside of the Sacramento State game, he just really hasn't been all that good. I believe he is not necessarily pitching for his spot in the rotation, because Jay Johnson did say he trusts Case and Evans with his life. And Jay Johnson and Nate Yeskie and Jamie Tutko, one of the first things they did when they landed Monday from Nashville was they had Case and Evans throw a bullpen, and they were working on some stuff with him, and they seem to think they've got some things ironed out. The reason why I think this is his most important start is I believe he is pitching for his spot on Friday nights, or Thursday night in this case. Because they play a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series, and because next weekend's series is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series, if you wanted to make a switch at all in the rotation, after this weekend would be the time to do it. If Case and Evans performs poorly tonight and William Schmidt performs well on Sunday, I think it is a conversation that has to be had. I don't think it's what Jay Johnson and Nate Yeskie want to do. It may be what they have to do if Case and Evans does not perform well tonight. Opposite Case and Evans will be Cam Johnson. Now, that's going to be a name familiar to LSU baseball fans. So Cam Johnson in 2024 was the highest rated recruit to ever make it to campus at LSU in baseball. He had a $3 million asking price. That price was not met. and he came in 2024 with very high hopes. 6'5", left-hander, upper 90s fastball, and he just could not command. He had no command, never got better. And after his freshman year, he transferred out. And last year at Oklahoma, it was more of the same. He didn't pitch very much. When he did, it was walks and lack of command. But over this offseason, he made some strides. And because Oklahoma lost the Witherspoon twins out of last year's starting rotation, they installed Cam Johnson as their Friday night guy. And for his 4 non-conference weekend starts, it went beautifully. He only walked 5 guys in 4 starts. He had a 3-0 record, and everything was going swimmingly. And then last Friday night at home against Texas A&M, the old Cam Johnson reared up. He walked 7 guys in 2 1/3 innings. He gave up 5 runs. Only 3 of them were earned. 11 of the 16 batters that he faced had a 3-ball count. So this game tonight is going to come with a lot of emotion. It's going to come with a lot of pressure. It's going to come with some hype. It's the SEC opener at Alex Box Stadium. I fully expect 10, 11,000 people to be there. It's going to be an immense amount of pressure on Cam Johnson, being a former LSU Tiger. It's going to be a tremendous amount of pressure on Kason Evans, being that he has an ERA over 5, and he may very well be pitching for his spot in the rotation, not necessarily for his pecking order in the rotation, not necessarily for a spot in the rotation. And look, it's an important game. LSU can't really afford to go 1-3 in the SEC. Oklahoma's pitcher tomorrow, Mercurius, who we're going to talk about tomorrow, has been good, was good last weekend against Texas A&M. So you really would like to win this game tonight. This game is going to come down, really, it's 2 things. It's what team can limit the free passes. LSU and Vanderbilt last Friday night, you saw it, right? It was a tale of 2 games. LSU did it early. Vanderbilt cashed in. Vanderbilt was up 10-4. Vanderbilt's pitching melted down late. LSU came back and took the lead. LSU walked 11 people last Friday night and hit a batter. If LSU gives Oklahoma double-digit free passes, Oklahoma's going to run LSU out of this building, literally. They're going to steal bases. They're going to sacrifice bunt. They're going to move runners over. And it's just going to be a nightmare for LSU's catchers and LSU's defense. Kason Evans has to throw strikes. He has to be in the zone, and he has to have his command. If Oklahoma hits their way past Kason Evans, you can live with that. What you can't live with is the free passes. And on the offensive side, LSU's got to come in with a game plan against Cam Johnson, and that game plan is you got to see some pitches, and you got to see if he'll be able to have any sort of command, because last Friday night he didn't. And now he's on the road in a place where he used to be, in a hostile environment with a lot of pressure. You would not expect Cam Johnson to go out here and completely shut LSU down. He is capable of doing that, but you would expect some offense in this game from LSU. My prediction for the series is I do think LSU will find a way to win 2 out of 3. Obviously, I'm very hopeful for that. They need to end this weekend back at least 3-3. I think 2 out of 3 against the number 8 team in the country would get them in the top 25. Just a little note on Oklahoma. Oklahoma did come into Louisiana on Tuesday night. They played Southeastern in Hammond, and they lost 3-0. So Oklahoma comes in, having been in Louisiana for a few days, but they do come limping in a little bit off of a loss to Southeastern. So my prediction is LSU will win the game tonight, I think, and then I think they'll split the rest of the way. We'll be back to talk about it tomorrow. Again, I can't stress enough how important tonight's game is, just from a pressure standpoint, the mathematical standpoint of LSU not wanting to drop to 1-3 in the league, and putting some pressure on Oklahoma and putting some pressure on Cam Johnson. So we'll be back tomorrow night to talk about it. And as always, be good to one another, and always, 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 go Tigers.